We continue our knowledge sharing mission through a series of interviews with marketing leaders from all over the world. And we are thrilled to have Arun with us today.
So I'm Arun Sundar. I am the Chief Marketing Officer of Entomo. Entomo is a global multinational with offices around 15 countries and 30 million users. And we leverage analytics and behavioral science to drive enterprise performance and talent development.
Can you describe the role of a CMO in one word?
So the role of CMO is all about identity. The reason why I mentioned that is because if there is one function in the organization which constantly rests itself in the present and the future at the same time, it is marketing. Because marketing is not just about generating leads, it is also about building brands. And it is not just about building brands, it's about understanding how the market is evolving, how the organization is evolving, and continuously evolve one's identity. So that's why, in one word, to me, marketing is all about building, nurturing, sustaining, and growing the identity of the organization.
What current challenges are you facing right now as a CMO?
So the interesting part about being a CMO is that you are sitting at the intersection between the external world and the internal world. And there has never been a time when the changes in the external world and the ensuing changes in the internal world are going through the pace at which it is going right now. And there are multiple factors. It is macroeconomic factors, social factors, political factors, but the world around as we knew it has changed, is continuing to change, and it doesn't seem like stopping. Right? That presents opportunities, that presents threats, that presents excitement. And at the same time, it also has challenges in rallying the rest of the organization with you, rallying your teams with you, building value propositions across. So I wouldn't call it a challenge. I would call it an opportunity thanks to the changing world around internal and external.
Can you identify a solution to getting on top of this opportunity?
One of the things which I've always been stating is that leadership is not a verb, it's a noun. It's a noun in the sense it's a state of being. And by state of being, what I mean is it is about building an awareness. It's about understanding what's happening outside, what's happening inside, finding the right intersection points on where you are and where you want to be. That requires observation. And to me, science is where the answer lies, because science by definition is good observation. So the answer to your question is observe, digest, and accordingly plan your strategies.
How can you see your role evolving within the next 2 or 3 years?
So the role of the CMO is at a huge risk, and it is also at a cusp of a huge opportunity. So let me start by saying why I said it's at a huge risk. A few years back, a CMO always had a seat at the table of the CEO. The CMO community lost it. Over the years, we lost it and we were replaced by chief data officers or chief technology officers, or even sometimes even chief partnership or alliance officers. Why? Because if you were to look at it simply, they were able to talk in the language that the CEO understands, which was all about money. Right? End of the day, what matters to an organization is while you stand tall on top of all the fundamentals like ethics and value creation, what gets measured ultimately in a business is revenue. So where marketers lost is our ability to have a conversation or a narrative in the language of the dollar. Back to the question of where we are in the next 2 to 3 years, I see a huge renaissance happening in marketing. Marketing is now talking about customer experience, talking about brand experience, and always thinking of tying it back to dollar value and dollar impact in terms of value, valuation, revenue, and long-term potential of the brand in terms of, again, dollar values, right? And thanks to companies like Apple, who have ensured that marketing is what drives the value of a company. Now, 2 to 3 years down the line, marketing will metamorphose itself into a revenue generation, revenue creation function, which already is, but substantially more. And also a function which actually continuously redefines the identity of the company into the future, which essentially means that marketing will flow into the role that a traditional CEO is supposed to be playing, which is very exciting to me.
What career advice would you like to share with other CMOs?
Observe, and observe. The world has dramatized the importance of action, right? And action is an outcome. Observation is what you need to do. Observe, understand the identity of the company, understand where the market is going, identify where the intersection point is. Follow the Japanese. 80% is planning, 20% is doing. But that doesn't mean that 80% of the time you plan. You maybe plan 10% of your time. But from a share of capability perspective, 80% of the time should be about observation and planning to do the right things. And the remaining should be about extraordinary execution using technology.
Right. Thank you for that, Arun. I think this brings us to a close. It's been a pleasure speaking with you, and I look forward to our next catch-up.
Thank you, Vincent. The pleasure is all mine.